The Roman Empire, more scandal than you can handle. Did you know that nearly 1 out of every 3 Roman emperors met a brutal, violent end? Most of them were assassinated by their own people. The Roman Empire was not as glorious as you might think. Stick around because in today's video, we're diving into 5 shocking secrets that will change how you see ancient Rome forever. The women of Rome. More than just pretty faces. We often think of ancient Rome as a man's world, dominated by emperors, generals, and senators. But behind the scenes, Roman women wielded a different kind of power, born of influence and cunning. These weren't the women history books typically focus on. I'm not talking about mythical figures like the Sabine women or even powerful empresses like Livia Drusilla, Augustus's wife. No, I'm talking about the mothers, the wives, the mistresses, the women who understood that real power in Rome wasn't always about holding office, it was about holding sway. Take Agrippina the Younger, for example. She used her position and family connections to maneuver her son Nero onto the throne, even resorting to unconventional methods to eliminate rivals. Once Nero was emperor, Agrippina ruled through him, influencing his decisions. Agrippina's story highlights a hidden truth about Roman society. While Roman women were officially excluded from politics, they found ways to exert their influence. They were the power behind the throne, whispering in the ears of emperors. Think about Livia Drusilla again, wife to Augustus. Livia was a shrewd political operator, a master strategist who played a key role in consolidating Augustus's power and ensuring her own son Tiberius eventually succeeded him. These women operated within the constraints of their time, but they did so with a cunning and ambition that would rival any man in the Roman Senate. They were patrons of the arts, influencers of fashion, and political kingmakers. To understand Roman history, we have to look deeper into the shadows, into the whispers and intrigues of the Roman court, and there, we find the women of Rome, wielding their own unique and formidable brand of power. Blood and circuses, Rome's grisly secret to control. The Colosseum, a marvel of ancient architecture and a monument to brutal entertainment. Gladiators in mortal combat, wild animals unleashed, the roar of the crowd. But the games were more than just morbid entertainment. They were a tool of political control, a way to keep the masses in check. Free bread and brutal spectacles kept the people distracted. Juvenal summed it up: bread and circuses. The games desensitized the populace to brutality. The Colosseum, a testament to Roman engineering, symbolized the emperor's might. Games celebrated military victories with enemies paraded and exotic animals displayed. Gladiators, often slaves, became folk heroes. The Colosseum is a glimpse into the heart of Roman power. Let's be honest, who doesn't love a good conspiracy theory? Well, my friends, if you think modern governments are good at manipulating information, I've got a story for you. The Romans, they were masters of propaganda, spinning narratives that would make even the most seasoned spin doctor blush. But here's the thing about Roman propaganda. It wasn't just about words. It was about stone and mortar, about colossal monuments that stood as testaments to Roman power and imperial might. These weren't just buildings, they were messages etched into the very fabric of the empire. Take the Colosseum, for example. Sure, it was a place of entertainment, but it was also a symbol of imperial generosity, a way for the emperor to demonstrate his concern for the people's leisure. Every roar of the crowd, every gladiatorial victory, was a testament to the emperor's greatness. Or consider Trajan's Column, a towering monument that still stands in Rome today. This wasn't just a pretty column, it was a visual history lesson. A spiraling narrative carved in stone depicting Emperor Trajan's victories against the Dacians. It was propaganda on an epic scale, designed to awe and inspire, to remind every Roman citizen of their emperor's military genius. But Roman propaganda wasn't just about grand gestures, it was also about the subtle manipulation of everyday life. Coins, for example, those little metal discs we take for granted, were potent tools of propaganda. They bore the emperor's image, his titles, often depicting scenes of Roman military triumphs or symbols of peace and prosperity. Every time a Roman citizen used a coin, they were reminded of the emperor's power, his reach, his control over their lives. Even Roman law, the very foundation of their society, was used as a tool of propaganda. So the next time you're marveling at the ruins of a Roman aqueduct, or admiring the intricate details of a Roman mosaic, remember, you're not just looking at a work of art or engineering, you're looking at propaganda in its most enduring form. Imagine living every day of your life knowing that the very people sworn to protect you, the elite soldiers entrusted with your safety, also hold the power to end your life with a flick of their wrists. That, my friends, was the precarious existence of many a Roman emperor, thanks to the Praetorian Guard. These weren't your average soldiers. The Praetorian Guard was the emperor's personal army, handpicked for their loyalty, their skill, and their ruthlessness. They were the best of the best, the elite of the Roman army stationed in the heart of Rome, a constant imposing presence in the imperial palace. On the surface, their role was simple: protect the emperor at all costs. They were his bodyguards, his confidants, the last line of defense against any threat to his power. But power, as we know, is a fickle mistress, and the Praetorian Guard, well, they learned to play the game. Over time, the Praetorian Guard realized that their proximity to the emperor, their control over the levers of power, gave them a unique and terrifying influence. They weren't just protectors, they were king-makers. They had the power to depose emperors they disliked, to install puppets who would do their bidding. The Praetorian Guard was responsible for the deaths of numerous Roman emperors, including the infamous Caligula and Commodus. The assassination of an emperor by the Praetorian Guard wasn't always about greed or power, though. Sometimes, it was about fear. The Praetorian Guard was a double-edged sword, a constant reminder that even the most powerful man in the Roman Empire was ultimately at the mercy of those sworn to protect him. The fall of Rome. It's one of the most iconic events in history, conjuring images of barbarian hordes sacking the Eternal City, the once mighty Roman Empire crumbling into dust. But what if I told you that the traditional narrative of Rome's fall, the one we all learned in school, is, well, a bit of an oversimplification? The truth is, Rome's fall wasn't a sudden catastrophic event. It was more like a slow, agonizing decline, a gradual unraveling of the fabric of empire that took centuries to fully play out. It was death by 1,000 cuts, a slow bleed that eventually drained the life out of one of the most influential civilizations in human history. So, what went wrong? Well, where do we even begin? There wasn't one single cause, one fatal flaw that brought down the Roman giant. It was a perfect storm of internal and external pressures, a confluence of factors that, over time, proved too much for even Rome to withstand. Let's start with the economy. By the late Roman Empire, the cost of maintaining a vast, sprawling empire had become unsustainable. Constant wars, the need to defend sprawling borders, and a bloated bureaucracy all put a massive strain on the Roman treasury. And then there was corruption, the cancer that eats away at the heart of any empire. Bribery, embezzlement, and a general lack of accountability became endemic, hollowing out the Roman government from within. The once efficient Roman bureaucracy, the engine that had driven the empire for centuries, became bogged down in inefficiency and greed. And let's not forget about the emperors themselves. While there were a few bright spots here and there, the later Roman emperors were, by and large, a sorry lot. They were weak, often more interested in personal enrichment or indulging their whims than in governing effectively. The fall of Rome was a tragedy, a slow-motion collapse of one of the most influential civilizations in history. So there you have it, 5 shocking secrets of the Roman Empire. It was a civilization of incredible achievements, but also one rife with brutality, intrigue, and political maneuvering. What secret shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by ancient history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from the past. Also, check out our video on the 10 amazing facts of the Ottoman Empire to dive even deeper into history's mysteries.